What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to tonight's late night agenda. Not many people here yet, but we'll fill up. We'll get here. We'll get there. Hello to the people in the chat. I hope you're all well. It is the launch of FIFA today, so as pointed out in the chat, probably a load of people playing FIFA, but we'll have a bit of fun. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I'm working on the fly here today, trying to get my colour sorted out because it looks a little bit pale. But yeah, there you go. Here we are. Welcome along anyway. Hello, everyone. Nice to see you guys in the chat. We've loads to get through tonight. And as always, I want your help. I want your help for anything that we want to chat around. And I've got a little bit of information as well to go through. So look, hello to everyone. I hope we're all well. Nice to see you guys. Thank you, mate. You're very kind. Appreciate that. Look, I've loads to get through tonight. I'm just still messing around with my colour on the camera here on the fly, so bear with me, folks. I'm trying to make myself look a little bit more human, which I know isn't possible when you're as Casper the Friendly Ghost looking as I am, but there we go. Better we get City in the draw. Have I spoken to Mark yet? Yes, I mean, I've went through this loads of times. That's all done and dusted. I'll talk about it in a while, but yeah, there's no bad blood there. No issues. We want Bellingham, said Joker. Indeed we do, my man. Indeed we do. Of course, as soon as I start. Loads of people start messaging me. Always the way. Always the way. Quiet day all day, folks. And then as soon as you jump on a stream, the whole world and their mother are jumping on to say hello to you. Right, let me just sort this colour out because I look a little bit like Casper the Jesus Friendly Ghost. That looks a little bit more human, perhaps. Maybe a touch too orange. We try and work it somewhere in the middle. Anyway, we'll work on that. It is what it is. How are we all? Lovely to see you. And again, we've got the game coming up later on tonight as well. I'll be doing West Ham against United over in Craig Station. But before that, I wanted to just jump on and have a little chat with you guys about the Reds, about the Christian Falk story around Liverpool's interest in Jude Bellingham, which I've been telling you guys about for the longest time as well. We'll talk about that one, of course, as always. But today, ladies and gentlemen, as always, we are brought to you with thanks to our friends at Manscaped. Fully is back. Manscaped have got you covered with the all-new Performance Package 4.0. Included in this magnificent set is, of course, the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker, which is the ear and nose hair trimmer. Both those class acts. I was going to say something rude, but both those class acts are waterproof as well. So if you want to have a little romantic shower or whatever and groom yourself, you may do so. Performance Package 4.0 will take your grooming to the next game, ladies and gentlemen, to the next level, I should say. The Weed Whacker ear and nose hair trimmer, you get the formulations as well. You get the Lawnmower 4.0, you get the boxer briefs, you get the travel bag, which they call the shed. You also get the ball deodorant. Yeah, who knew we needed ball deodorant? Certainly not me, but apparently we do. Ball toner as well, and it all comes with their advanced skin-safe technology as well to keep your privates in good working order, ladies and gents. You can get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com by using our discount code WFM20. And again, as always, your balls will absolutely, positively, 100% thank you later. I had a shower earlier on and mine were saying thanks constantly, so it's getting a bit boring at this point with the amount of thanks. So, but they're happy little lads. Little lads, he says, no, I'm fully that he's got bins. Right, how are we? Can't wait to see United getting knocked out. What's the crack, lad? Said Big Man. I'm good, my man. All good. Thank you for those coming in. And thank you for all the kind words as well. A lot of people asking me straight off the bat, am I good with Mark? Yes, all good. No problems. As I always say, we deal with these things like adults, behind the scenes, couple of messages back and forth. No problems whatsoever. Again, it was no big issue. I know people on YouTube love beef and they love stories and they love all this jazz that goes along with it, but that's not the way I go about stuff. That's not the way I like to operate. You know, I'm a grown-ass man. I like to treat people behind the scenes properly, talk it out like grown people. And yeah, there's no big story. There's no issues. We're all good. We'll be sticking on our own channels, but there's no bad blood. Why would there be? Mark didn't do anything on me, nor do I think I did anything on him. It was just an unfortunate circumstance. It is what it is. We move. Right, ladies and gents, what's the story with Salah? Said Keane Hastings. As you may, I'm waiting to see if Mohamed Salah does sign his new contract, and there's no talk of a breakthrough yet that I've heard anyway. Let's talk about Jude Bellingham though, because you know I do love a bit of choo-choo Bellingham, so let's have a talk around Jude Bellingham. Does that mean you're rejoining that football? No, I'm going to be staying as I am, mate. Do my own thing. But again, there's no issues. It's just a decision, straightforward. There's no behind the scenes big drama or that. And it's just, I think it's for my own sense of security. I know when I'm on Anfield Agenda or when I'm on Craig Station that I've got a team of moderators that know the way I need to be protected, for want of a better phrase. And they do a great job of it, and I'm very grateful to them. So probably for my own well-being, again, nobody else's fault. Best for me to just stick to my own thing and maybe do a little, a few spots here or there on other people's, like I've done in the past. But again, absolutely no bad blood. I seen that other people were trying to make out like there was an issue. And look, the only people involved in these conversations are myself and Mark, and it's all good. We were messaging yesterday. There's no issues between the two of us. Why would there be? It's a simple thing. I know YouTube world loves beef, but there isn't any. Right, let's move on and have a little talk about last night, of course, on the 3-0 victory against Norwich, which was very, very good. Wasn't a perfect performance, but it was great to see the likes of Caoimhín Kelleher, Curtis Jones, Tyler Morton, who came on. I thought second half, as we said, was absolutely fantastic as well. And great to see the young lads, Connor Bradley, who did make the foul for the penalty, unfortunately, but thankfully Caoimhín bailed him out with that one, and some good blockers by Joe Gomez as well. Another performance for Ibrahim Kanade, which is great. So loads of positives to take from yesterday. As Kloppo said, folks, it wasn't perfect. We can't lie about it. It wasn't perfect, but we got through to the next round. That draw will, of course, be taking place tonight. I will bring you the draw after the watch-along over on Craig Station of the United game against West Ham. So I hope you can join me for that. I get you, Craig. Do what you're comfortable with. That's it. That's all it is. That is exactly it. That's all it is. It's just me protecting me. That's it. No more to it than that. Hi, Craig. Which goal did you think was better, Gerrard's or Henderson's? Oh, man. You know what? It's a really good question, and I still don't know the answer to it. I think in the context of things, I would go with Gerrard's goal, because we needed that goal, or we were going out against Olympiacos. I remember, I think it was Rivaldo that scored the early free kick, if I remember correctly. Like, it is 16 years ago, but I think it was Rivaldo that put Olympiacos 1-0 up. And I remember watching the game at home and just thinking, I don't know if we're going to do this, And then I think, if my memory's right again, I think Mellor pulled one back, or Pongo was involved in one. And then I just remember just seeing a fall to Gerrard on the edge of the box, and I thought, I don't know, I don't like the angle that this is coming. It's on the half volley, but when it left his foot, you just knew it was going in. So you know what, I'm gonna go with the Gerrard one, because it was so important. If we had if Hendo hadn't have scored that, we still had 5 more games to get out of the group, 5 more options. But that was last chance saloon for Stevie G, and he absolutely rattled it. No, West Ham was the FA Cup game, mate. I was talking about Gerrard against Olympiacos in the Champions League. You beauty, what a hit, son, what a hit. That one, that's the one I'm talking about. I am having a good day, my man, I am. City will get Preston, says a lot of people as well. Right, look, we'll have a talk about a few things. So, apparently Basel remain interested in taking Loris Karius. Yeah, it'll have to be in the January window, obviously, unless Liverpool were to cancel his contract. But reports in Germany suggest, I think it comes from Bild, that they have an interest in signing Loris Karius. There's also talk around Liverpool lining up a Porto midfielder. We'll get to that one in a few minutes as well. Tyler Morton was tremendous yesterday. Obi, not him. I like that name. Well done. Yeah, he was. He was really good yesterday, wasn't he? I think in the second half, as Jack said last night, little bit of a shaky start, but grew into the game in the second half, and I thought wrestled control of the midfield back from Norwich, and yeah, very, very impressive for the young man yesterday. He was, if he had played the whole game, I'd say he'd probably been right up there for man of the match. Hey Craig, are you and Mark still in good terms? Absolutely. No problem, mate, whatsoever. As I said earlier on, sorted out, a couple of messages back and forth, bing bang bosh. We'll both go on, do our own separate things, but there's no bad blood. Why would there be? It's just a small little thing. No problems. Just imagine if Gerrard was 10 years younger and playing under Klopp, he would have won the Champions League in 2018 and got three league titles, I think you said, easy last year. In my opinion, he's the greatest central midfielder to ever grace football in England, said L don't know. Kay Gordon he was okay yesterday, Addison. Maybe I was expecting a bit too much of Kay Gordon yesterday, but I thought he was okay. But again, a great learning experience for the young Reds, and a win is a win is a win, and we're into the 4th round. So yeah, we'll wait and see. To what? 3 rounds away now from the final, something. I think it's the last 16 quarters. Yeah, not too far to go. 3 or 4 rounds to go. So hopefully we get a favourable draw, at least a home draw. At least with a home draw, we'll know that anyone in the Auto Cup scheme is going to get a chance to go to another game. So I always like to try and get the away draw first. Or the home draw first, excuse me, to make sure that Reds can get another game to go to first and foremost. Mo said Kate Gordon wasn't getting enough of the ball. It's a good point. It is a good point. I didn't think he was as involved in the game as I would have liked him to have been. He looked a little bit anxious maybe at times. You know, no, I'm going to rephrase that. He looked like he was playing within himself at times, and that's totally understandable. He was away from home against, you know, a fairly strong Norwich team with a very loud stadium, 16 years of age. So I can understand why he just wanted to make sure he got through the game, did everything okay, made no major errors, and hopefully the confidence will continue to flourish because the lad's talent is undoubted. So, yeah, hopefully. Would I like us to go on a cup run this season? Absolutely. 100% would love us to go on a cup run. You know, it's been too long since the Reds have had a trip to Wembley. Right, look, let's have a little talk around a Porto midfielder, Fabio Vieira. So, apparently, he was scouted extensively, as we know, throughout the Euro Under-21 Championships, where I believe, if my memory is correct, he got player of the tournament. And there is some talk that Liverpool are looking to make a January move for him. But look, I don't really like to be talking about transfers again now, but there are going to be two midfielders tonight we talk about. One of them is the youngster Vieira. Portuguese publication have said that Liverpool are interested in a move that could go to around 30 to 50 million euro, depending on add-ons and stuff like that. That's where we are on that one. Again, I don't know if there's much truth to it or not, but on the Jude Bellingham thing, it's a kind of a plus and a negative, because Christian Falk has been talking about Jude Bellingham, and he said that Liverpool are interested in him, but Klopp has inhibitions about signing players from Dortmund. I understand that. No, I don't actually. I would have understood that 2, 3, 4 years ago, but surely enough time now has passed, whereas if Klopp doesn't want to go to Dortmund to sign a player, but that another club are going to come in and take that player and bring him to the Premier League. So let's say, as an example, we know United held serious interest in Jude Bellingham before he went from Birmingham to Dortmund. They left it a bit late. His mind was made up he was going to Dortmund. So if Dortmund are going to sell him, and if clubs are in for him, then surely Liverpool should not really be too concerned about going to Dortmund to get a player, because he's going to leave anyway, or at least interest will be there. So we should be in the conversation from. I hope we're in the conversation from. I know we've been interested in him. I've spoke about that for a long time. Great to hear that confirmed by the likes of Christian Falk. But again, it'll come down to pound notes, won't it? And we know most likely that we're going to have to flog a player or two if we're going to go in for Jude Bellingham. I think it will be worth it. I think it will be prudent of the club to do it, because we can bring in young attacking hungry forwards. They are there. We have Kate Gordon, we've got Harvey Elliott, there's some other youngsters coming through, Musialowski. You know, we heard Pep Linders yesterday before the game speak about the importance of players like Curtis Jones, who made his 50th appearance for the Reds yesterday. How mad is that, by the way? Curtis Jones, 50 up already. That seems mad, but it's brilliant. And Pep Linders wants to celebrate that. And Pep Linders wants to show that pathway through to the younger players, and he believes in the prospects coming through from the academy. And we have this dream where we love, like, I watched again The Rise of the Premier League last night, or a programme on a documentary that's been 3-parter. I can't remember what channel it was on, but it was speaking about the class of 92 and how 5 of them came through at one time. And obviously, at the time, Ferguson sold off some established players to give these kids a chance. And we all know about the Alan Hansen quote of "you never win nothing with kids." But that's the dream, isn't it? The dream is to have academy prospects come through, the club save a load of money, and we develop these world-class talents. That's why the club, I suppose, put such emphasis now on going out there and bringing in the best talent from around, not just Europe at this point. I mean, we go with Gianluigi Pittaluga all the way from Brazil. So ideally you want to get a balance, don't you, between talent coming through, established players, and of course a little sprinkling of signings that you bring in from elsewhere. So I love the idea of a young, hungry team. I'm always fond of that, because I love the petulance of youth, as I like to say. Players who get the ball down and don't care about attitudes, or don't care about reputations. Just get the ball down and play and express themselves and do all the things that we all want to do. You know, we all want to do on a football pitch. So I think we will be in for Bellingham, but it will be at the cost of selling somebody, I think. And look, if you're a betting person, the odds seem to be in favour of probably Firmino. If you're to believe at least what most of the media are speculating about, that he would probably be the one to move on. I don't know. I honestly, I don't want to lie to you. Do I want Bellingham? Probably more than anybody else. Yes, absolutely. Bellingham or Pedri would be fantastic. Bellingham obviously will be probably better because he's that English background. And he looks like a star, let's be honest about it. He looks like an absolute star. So look, let me know your thoughts on it as well. And we'll talk about, of course, the extension on the Annie Road end, which has been formally put through today. They're hoping to have some type of a groundbreaking ceremony next week. We'll talk about that in a few minutes as well. Today I'm slipping in because Jack has... I think he's got something on today. I think he's meeting up with one of his family members or something. So he asked could he have today off. So I said I'd slip in and do a quick news show before I head over to Craig Station for the watch along. I'd love some Maximin at Liverpool, said Thomas Raymond. He's a name that keeps coming up, dude, amongst lots of Liverpool fans. And look, I like him in numerous ways. I like his ability on the football pitch, obviously, but he seems like a really good lad. And I know that sounds weird, like we shouldn't care if somebody's a good lad or not, but it is important for that harmony in the dressing room. And I'll never forget when Mane was having a really difficult period at Liverpool and Alan Saint-Maximin was being linked amongst fans. And a lot of Liverpool fans were asking him, would he come to Liverpool? Would he replace Sadio Mane? Yada, yada. And he said that, be respectful. Sadio Mane is an excellent player. Sadio Mane is at Liverpool. Be respectful. And I love that about him. I love that he was looking out for his fellow pro. I love how interactive he is on social media. And he just seems like a lovely guy. Do I think Liverpool will sign him? No. But he does seem like he's destined for good things in football. Not that Newcastle isn't a good thing. I don't mean to be disparaging towards Newcastle, but he's... I would put him ahead of Adama Traore. Anyway, if you were looking to bring in one of two of them, I would rather Alan Saint-Maximin than Adama Traore. I've always had just lingering doubts about Adama. And I do know why, but I find it hard to express why. What did you think of Taki last night? It's a big man. Well, he got himself 2 goals. So one thing that we have to say is Divock Origi and Takumi Minamino have been given opportunities. Origi more so, obviously, because Taki had an injury. But Divock, both against AC Milan and last night against Norwich, I think did himself no harm whatsoever. You want him in a game last night to look a class above the players he was playing against at Norwich, as an example. And I thought Divock was very good. And I've been one of his biggest critics. But, I'm put my hands up when I'm wrong and somebody plays well. I want him to play well. I always want him to play well. But I thought he took his goal very well. Again, he was involved with an assist, although, how much of an assist it actually was, I don't know. But he did nod the ball down. He did show determination to win that one. And obviously, Taki then swung a boot and put it through the keeper's legs and then followed it up with another good finish later on. So, again, another headache for the manager, but a good headache. And I'm sure that Jurgen Klopp would say he'd have 50 of these type of headaches over worrying about what centre-backs to pick. If you're worrying about quality players or who you can put into the team, that's a much better headache. So again, fair play to the lads. You want them to take these opportunities. I'm intrigued to see the situation with Naby Keita, who was taken off as a precaution, I think, last night. So I'm interested to see if he's going to be available for the game against Brentford. If not, with Thiago maybe out as well, I would have a guess that we'd probably see Curtis Jones on the left-hand side, but I wouldn't rule out James Milner. Now, I will be filming a preview for the game tomorrow, which will be coming out on Friday. So we'll go through it all then, starting 11s, predictions and all that stuff. Great to see you in your comfort zone. Yeah, this is my home, man. You know what I mean? This is where I feel relaxed. It's my people, as I like to say. So yeah, I'm all good, man. I'm just enjoying life at the minute. My everything's going good. Smiling. Look, great weekend to look forward to with the AJ fight, and then a week away with my family after nearly heading on over 2 years actually, since the family have been away together for any length of time. So yeah, nice week in Spain coming up in October, the international break. So I'm all good. We're healthy, we're safe, and I just want to put out positive vibes into the world now. I know it sounds a bit hippie-ish, but the whole COVID pandemic thing has just made me regroup and think and realise what's important to me, who's important to me, and how very fortunate I am. And I really appreciate it. I mean, I cannot tell you the amount of kind, lovely messages I've received over the past 3 or 4 days. Obviously, I've received some smart arses as well, but I'm trying to focus on the good stuff. I'm trying to focus on the people who deserve to be focused on. So, yeah, it's good. I'm feeling in my comfort zone, as somebody said. Am I worried about January? I guess you mean the AFCON, mate, in January. In which case, not really, because the fixtures aren't the worst, and we're only going to miss the guys for a couple of league games, and I think a domestic cup game. So, look, it's not ideal. I'll be the first one to admit that. It's not ideal. But, we've got to roll with the punches, and we won't be the only club losing players for the AFCON. Now, yes, we're going to lose 3 very important players. 2 guaranteed starting 11 players, and then Keita as a potential as well. So, yeah, it's not great. It was moved to a summer tournament, and then it was moved back, having originally been a January tournament. So, not great, but again, you got to roll with the punches. And, I'd rather knowing that that's coming up than having an injury that the club haven't planned for. At least with the AFCON coming up, Jurgen Klopp, Pep Linders and the coaches can start to formulate a plan for players, game time and stuff like that. So I'd rather that than injuries. I support Charlton, but I like your channel. Lovely to see you, Mark. Thank you, dude. Welcome in. Nice to have you with us. If you do enjoy the channel, folks, please do take a second, hit the subscribe button, drop a like on the video. It's a quiet one tonight, but sometimes these are the most fun, aren't they? Because, we can all have a proper little chat. And I don't give a shit. If there's 10 people in the chat or 10,000 people in the chat, the fact anybody takes the time to come on and have a chat around the Reds with me means a lot. Do I think we will win the EFL Cup? Said Samuel. I hope so, mate. I've said this before. I don't know. I have something about the League Cup I prefer over the FA Cup. Don't know what it is. Maybe it's the time that, the final was moved to the Millennium Stadium when Wembley was being redone, and we were just winning. It seemed trophy out. It seemed like every single final the Reds were in Cardiff, and it was a great time, and I was of an age where I was really enjoying it. So I have an affinity towards the League Cup. I don't know why. I just like it more than the FA Cup. But do I think we'll win it? We can win it. You got to get a decent draw. And again, you'll be taking chances. Because as good as that 3-0 performance was last night, Jurgen Klopp was the first one to admit it was far from perfect. Norwich had opportunities. That penalty goes in at 1-0 to us, makes it 1-1. It's a completely different game. So these little moments have to go your way at times. And, we've seen before the moments haven't gone our way. Last night, they went their way and the lads blossomed and went and finished the game off. So, yes, all good. All good. Do I think this squad will win the Prem? Could do. But again, I would say we'll have to be lucky. And by lucky, I mean more around injuries and fitness than the quality of our play, because our first 11 speaks for itself. And even I would go as far as to say our first 15 probably is up there with any 15 that any Premier League squad can put out there. But if we are stretched to the limit, if we are having to go really into the reserves, then, that's where the questions arise, isn't it? So we will have to be a little bit lucky. I back the lads in their ability 100%. I said going into this season, as annoyed as I was about the lack of transfer activity, I was very, very aware that these lads were capable footballers. I mean, how can we doubt their ability? Somebody at my front door, one sec. Oh, just someone there to get it. That's grand. Sorry, I just had to say here who it was. Yeah, so I think we can do it, but I wouldn't make us favourites. I would put probably, as I said before, I think Manchester City and Chelsea probably favourites, but we'll be there or thereabouts. I've no reason to doubt this group. How can we? Every time their backs are against the wall, they come out firing. Even last season when it looked like Champions League was going to be too far for us, Alisson Becker with that magnificent header and some great performances by the likes of Nat Phillips helped us out. So yeah, all good. When will the new stand be finished? Right, so let's move on to talk about the Annie Road extension. So it has formally been ratified today, and they're hoping to have a groundbreaking ceremony next week. It will increase capacity by 7,000 to bring Anfield's capacity to around 61,000, making it the third biggest stadium in the Premier League after United and Spurs. So again, great. More redevelopment, 7,000 extra seats. They hope that it will be ready to go for the 2023-2024 season. And if you've seen any of the renderings of the images, it looks like a mini version of the main stand. So again, positive and another thing to look forward to. The redevelopment of Anfield is fantastic. The main stand is amazing. The area around Anfield has been transformed. And again, to get this done, and like with the main stand, this work will be done as the players are still able to play and as people are still able to attend, like the main stand, it will be built behind it, and then all joined up eventually over the course of a summer and ready to go, hopefully, for the 23-24 season. And great news, and I hope more people get to go to games, because that's the whole point of it, isn't it? Yes, the club need to generate and want to generate more matchday income and revenue, but it also allows 7,000 extra people to get inside, which will create, of course, a better atmosphere, a more intimidating atmosphere. I mean, can you imagine 61,000 inside Anfield on a Champions League night? Wow. All I can say is it'll be rocking. And yeah, it's great news. Great news that it's getting the go-ahead. And yeah, well done to everybody involved. You got to give credit where it's due. 7,000 new seats. You know, when I started doing this channel, Liverpool probably, well, maybe a little bit before this, actually. Maybe when I start making Liverpool content, we just had the old, 44,500 that Anfield was. Now, obviously, it's up higher again. It's up to 54,000 with the new main stand. And now it's going to go up to 61,000. So, great news. Happy days all around. I mean, let me know what you guys think about it. Do I think we'll ever expand the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand? The COP is apparently next, Ben, from what I've been reading. The Centenary stand, aka the Kenny Dalglish stand, or the Sir Kenny Dalglish stand, was the latest one done before the latest round of things. So I would say maybe the COP if they're looking to do something else next, but you know, one step at a time and all that. One step at a time. Do I think we'll make any January signings? I don't know. You know, if the squad stays injury free, probably not, unless a bargain comes up. But you never know. It is an evolving market. You know, these situations might pop up that the club can't turn down. You know, whether it's a player goes out for really good money, which means we replace them, we'll have to wait and see the closer the time. But I think what we should be focused on is, of course, the League Cup draw tonight after we do a watch-along of the United game, and then obviously building up to the game against Brentford on Saturday, which is a 5:30 p.m. kickoff. Jack Gill will be covering the game here on Anfield Agenda because I will be in London for the AJ fight. So, yeah, Jack will be here for the watch-along with his post-match show and all that stuff. And as people who tuned in yesterday will know, Jack will be set up with the full green screen and all now. I got that stuff delivered to him. So he should be, in theory, able to use the same studio that I'm sitting in now. And, yeah. So, yeah, should be better all around. And, you know, we'll work on that McDonald's Wi-Fi internet connection of his as well. Glad it's getting expanded and us not moving like Arsenal and Spurs, even though Spurs only move next door. But look at the atmosphere of them clubs now, non-existent. Of all of them, I would have to probably concede ground on the Spurs stadium the most, David. I haven't been to the Emirates, but I've been fortunate enough to be in Spurs Stadium, and I have to say, mate, it's an impressive stadium. Look, yes, it is on the same ground as you said, and it probably wouldn't have the same feel or memory, obviously, as White Hart Lane, but it is very impressive, mate. It's very impressive. Your favourite Liverpool player? Toss-up, Emil, between Robbie Fowler and Stevie G. What have we got? Sorry, what's this? Fort in Brass says, Anfield expansion is like the golden way to improve capacity and still keep the Anfield magic alive. Keep an eye on ticket prices, though. Yeah, I'm fully expecting that there will be some more corporate hospitality put in there due to help pay for the stand. As it is, it's important to bear in mind that there are corporate matchday packages that include the Annie Road End right now. So if you go onto the club's website to try and buy, corporate hospitality, there are some that are in the main stand, but there are quite a few that are in the upper Annie Road End. And I don't know if any of you guys have been in the upper Annie Road End. I'm sure a lot of you have. It's not the greatest place to watch a game of football from. Being inside Anfield, of course, at any point is amazing, but it could do with getting redone. Like, if you're in certain parts of the upper Annie Road, it can look like you're looking through an opening of a post box. Look at how great the new studio looks. Blame Connor. Yes, it looks pretty good. And again, wouldn't be here without Mr. Crosby. What else we got? Craig, will you ever go back on that football? I don't know, mate. Probably not, but maybe as a one-off or something. I don't know. But again, I want to reiterate, no matter what anybody else says, I know other people have been talking about it and all. The only two people involved in the conversation that matter are myself and Mark. And we're sound. There's no issues, no problems. We sorted it out behind the scenes, like people do. We're all good. I've no ill will towards anybody. It's not the type of person I am, and I don't want big headline grabbing drama beef on YouTube. It's not me. It's not the way I go about stuff. Nor does he deserve any bad press, because again, I'll say it was just an unfortunate circumstance that was just unfortunate. It's the only word I can use. I know people think that I acted petulantly, maybe. I understand why people would view it as that. Of course I do. I have another viewpoint, and sometimes in these situations, it is just differing perspectives. One person has one perspective, the other person has another perspective, and like I always say, the aim is to try and meet in the middle so I can learn about somebody else's perspective and they can learn a little bit about mine. And that's it. It's straightforward. You know what I mean? There's no beef here. I don't do it. I'm all about positive stuff, me. So, yeah, all good. Yeah, please stop asking me about it, because he is my mate, and I don't like talking about him behind his back. I'd much, anything I have to say to Mark, I'll message him or I'll chat to him about. I don't do the talking behind people's back shit. It's not me. Nor does he deserve it. Do you know what I mean? I know people are looking for a reason to bring everybody down, but it ain't going to come from me. That's all I'm ever going to say. If I've got something to say, I'll say it. But I don't have anything to say. I like Mark Ulbridge. I like the team at That's Football. I like the team at the United Stand. They're good people. We do things in different ways at times, and maybe I need a little bit more protection because we all know I like to bite on trolling comments. We all know that I can't bite my tongue and that I snap at things. And maybe other people can cope with that differently. I just know I need a certain level of protection, which I'm very fortunate to get from the great team of moderators that we have here on the channel. And that's it. Do you know what I mean? Each to their own. Messi or Ronaldo? I would be Messi, man. I would definitely. Well, I'm Messi in loads of different ways, but I'd be Team Messi on that one. But they're absolutely class. What do I think about Marcos Alonso not taking the knee? I try to not get involved in these type of conversations, mate, because every single person has their own viewpoint. Again, perspective, and his perspective is that he is absolutely against any racism, and he's going to point to the badge on his shirt. To me, he's still supporting the cause, just in a slightly different way. So again, there you go. That's the way I look at it anyway. He's still very publicly saying, I am against any form of prejudice or racism in sport, in football. I'm going to point at the badge on my shirt. Do you know what I mean? I think to me, that's absolutely sound. Right, what else we want to talk about tonight, folks, before we finish up? We've got about 10 minutes to go, and then I will be flying straight over to Craig Station for a watch-along of West Ham against Manchester United starting at 7:15, so I hope you can join me over there for that one, and we'll follow that, of course, with the League Cup draw as well. What have you got? David Newell said, hats off to Lee Gunner for standing up for Craig, though that's all I'd say in the matter. What I will say is, I know that he was talking with, I think it was your man from the Football Terrace, Terry, I think. But what I will say is, I didn't see that. I have no idea. But I can say he did message me, Lee Gunner. I want to put that out there. And I always take people at face value. And Lee, to me, has always been sound. We exchange messages every so often. He messaged me last night. We had quite a few messages back and forth. Just chit-chat, general stuff. And again, I might not always agree, or we might not always agree on the way certain topics are made or the way content is done, but I can only treat people how they've treated me, and Lee Gunner to me has always been sound, so I will treat him the same way. And yeah, he reached out last night and said a few kind messages, and it means a lot. It means a lot that other content creators, and I include Mark in this, by the way, other content creators are looking out for each other. It's class. It's the way it should be. There doesn't have to be negativity and arguments in the whole YouTube ecosystem. Sometimes people need an arm around the shoulder, or people need a conversation, and I'm very lucky that I have people that are able to do that for me, or are willing to do that for me, I should say. So yeah, all good. What else we got? Do I watch Ben Foster on YouTube? What a lad! Yeah, the cycling goalie. I do. I've seen a few of his podcasts, and they're yeah, he does look fun, doesn't he, Ben? He looks like a good lad. I've seen Theo and Togden and Togdad were on there. Sorry, I was going to say Theo, which is his actual name. Yeah, he's good. I think it's great that these barriers are brought down between like a professional footballer like Ben Foster and obviously us mere mortals. But yeah, it's all good. I wish I knew about you sooner. I used to watch AFTV for football stuff. This channel's amazing. This blows my mind, honestly. All this type of stuff blows my mind. It's only in the last couple of weeks I've really started to say, I can do this. This can be your job, Craig. You can do this. Back yourself. Do it. And yeah, honestly, I feel like I'm walking on a cloud lately. It's great. And being off Twitter has been a massive help. Massive help. I don't feel like an arsehole for the first time in quite a while. And I don't feel... Maybe it's just because I don't see it. Maybe ignorance is bliss in this scenario. One signing that we should make... Do you know... I'm going to be a little bit dirty here, ladies and gentlemen. And I know you want me to say Jude Bellingham because that is the answer. But if we're looking to a January market, there's one player that I'd like us to be looking at. He was going to come back from quite a prolonged period out, and by January should probably be back playing football, and that's Pedro Neto. We have held an interest in Pedro Neto for a while. As we spoke with Dave as a party at Talking Wolves earlier on in the summer, I said earlier on in the summer, like we're still in the summer. Well, in my head we are, but yeah, so he said Neto could be back around October, November time. And I really like Pedro Neto. He's got that bit of fire in his belly. He's got that, obviously, Portuguese technique. Obviously, Pep Linders will know all about Pedro Neto as well, with his great extensive contacts, having spent 7 or 8 years help coaching in Portugal, particularly with Porto. He helped bring the likes of Ruben Neves through as well. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind Pedro Neto as a possible option. Obviously, you know, Wolves will have been 3-4 months into a season then, may have found a balance in the team that works for the manager. And I'm not saying that he won't want Pedro Neto. Of course he will. But, you know, maybe the club could look at that as an option because we never addressed the attacking positions in the summer. So, you know, I'm spitballing here. I'm not trying to put out fake stories. What's the worst game of football you ever watched? I think that Northampton game you're talking about, I remember being in Turkey for that one, Jexter, and being in the bar in the hotel and just being disgusted, mate. Absolutely disgusted by the game. And like really, really, really annoyed by it. So, yeah, I think that has to be up there. I think what you've said has to be up there for me, definitely. If Firmino was to be sold, shouldn't they focus on a 9? Not really, no. Let me tell you for why. I'm going into my full Welsh mode here. Diogo Jota can do that role. We know that. We don't play with it unless Klopp wants to change the way we play, of course, which is his prerogative. We don't play with an out-and-out number 9. Our goals come from right across the front three. Most of them on the right-hand side with Mo Salah, in fairness, but Diogo Jota is capable of coming in there and doing a job. Harvey Elliott is capable of coming in there and doing a job. Maybe Mo can go centrally. Muzialowski, again, coming through. What role will Klopp envision him playing? Because let's be honest, most of us, myself included, thought that Harvey Elliott was going to be an attacking wide player this season, but Klopp has used him in the midfield. So, again, you know, I get the thinking behind a 9, and obviously everybody's attention would turn to Haaland. But it would be going against everything that Klopp has done since he's been at Liverpool to suddenly go after an out-and-out number 9 when our system plays with a 9.5, for want of a better phrase. Isaac won't be coming in. No. The amount of money that it's going to cost to get him, you know, if you were going to go and get Isaac from Real Sociedad, the Swedish gentleman, you would have been looking to get him before the Euros when he had, at the time, a 70 million euro release clause. He's since signed the new contract with Sociedad, which I'm assuming, I don't know this for a fact because I don't know the contract, but I'm assuming it will have included a higher release clause. So I can't see the club spending that much money. What else is there? Firmino is so unique, irreplaceable. It'll be interesting to see who Klopp will pick. I've no doubt that they've been looking at this situation for a year or two. You know, they'll know that their players are getting a little bit older and that maybe they'll have all the statistics and stuff to show if people's performance levels are dropping off, if their fitness levels are dropping off. And all of that will be used in conjunction with, of course, a good eye for talent and everything else. But who's to say that we don't already have the solution in the academy system? We may do. You know, And what hearing Pep Lijnders talk yesterday just really got me more excited about the academy prospects and wanting to learn more about who is coming through. So I'll be bending Jack's ear quite a bit on that, because Jack has almost encyclopedic knowledge of the underage system at Liverpool and who's coming through, and he watches all the games. So yeah, it's going to be interesting to have some conversations with Jack over the next few months as well about who's progressing well in the youth system and, you know, who to look out for. So again, that's one of the reasons why we want to promote Jack to do the new shows, because he's got loads of really good knowledge on the game from different perspectives to me. I'm somebody that I would say I've been around the sport over 30 years. I understand the game. I understand the sport. But Jack's very good at understanding development and refereeing perspectives, being a qualified referee himself and stuff. So I think between the two of us, we can bring a lot more context to everybody with regards to the situation at the club. Jamrock, how are you, my man? Said Klopp will hamper us going forward with formation flex. Don't you mean with his lack of being flexible with the formation? Is that where you're going with it, Jamrock? Because yeah, look, he has been a bit stubborn at times, but you know, we've also done quite well with the system that Klopp has put in place. And I don't know if anybody else has been as impressed with Pep Lijnders as I have been in recent weeks, but my God, that man impresses me. He really, really, really impresses me. Do I think Kate Gordon should stay at Liverpool or go out on loan? This season, stay. And then after that, you know, there comes the big question for Kloppo. When Kay Gordon's 17, then do you do what was done with Harvey Elliott? Send him to the Championship to prove himself, or a Premier League club? Again, I think a lot will depend on his development and what Klopp sees on the training ground and in the cup games and stuff. But to me, I would say he looks like a lad that he's not too far away. He's got a bit of, you know, he's got to still develop a little bit physically, but yeah, I'd say probably keep him around. But yeah, it's a good question, and one that I'm sure we'll get an answer to over the coming months. Keep up the content, Craig, from United fan. What happened to Mundo Sporto? It's now called Craig Station, James. So it's the same channel, same me, and I'll be on there for the next game. For the United game against West Ham, I'll be starting in about 15 minutes. But yeah, just changed the name, mate. It's called Craig Station now. So if you were subscribed to Mundo Sporto, you'll now be subscribed to Craig Station. And yeah, I'll be making more content on there, obviously, because I've got a bit more time now. Jamrock said, we absolutely do need 9 for formation flexibility. But then we've got Divock Origi at the minute. Again, just giving an answer because it genuinely is what we have available. But no matter what me or you think, mate, we've got to believe in the manager and the way the manager has us playing. So I'm not trying to be rude towards you, mate, because I'm including myself in this, but I absolutely believe that Jurgen Klopp knows more about what we need than you or me. And I don't mean that rudely. I mean, like, I'm just basically saying the dude knows what he's at. And look, he can be stubborn, I hear you. There are certain things that we'll disagree with, but at the end of the day, it'll be the gaffer who lives and dies by those decisions. And I would say he more often gets them right than wrong. But, you know, I don't argue about the point of having more variations in attack. It can never be a bad thing, having more options, obviously. Would love Sterling back, said some Biff. We spoke about that on last night's stream as well. Most people said they wouldn't have him back, but I admitted that I would. Jack said he wouldn't have him back, but I would take Raheem Sterling back, if I'm being honest. The manager can and should be questioned at times. Well, I think we just have, though, mate. I think we have just questioned him, and I said I understand your point about that flexibility. And yeah, you're right. We as fans have every right to, in a structured manner like you are doing, question the manager, absolutely. And look, if we turned around and signed Haaland, am I going to complain about it? No. If we turned around and brought in Lewandowski for 2 seasons, am I going to complain about it? No. So I'm not arguing against you, mate. I would absolutely have no issues with a centre forward coming in. And maybe that is the plan. Maybe the evolution of the team next will involve us changing system a little bit as Klopp brings through different players, the likes of Curtis Jones and Connor Bradley and Tyler Morton and Kate Gordon and Quivin Kelleher and all these other players that are coming through. Maybe we will see a little tweak in system. Maybe he'll believe that the attributes of the players coming through are better suited to a tweak in formation. I don't know. Again, it's a lot of guesswork from all of us. Would I take Ivan Toney? No, I wouldn't. I don't think. I'd rather take Ollie Watkins, excuse me, than Ivan Toney. I just think, again, maybe I'm being blinded by my thoughts of the system, and I think that Ollie Watkins will be a better fit for our system. But yeah, Ivan Toney, I mean, Brentford have done amazing business, haven't they? They lose Ollie Watkins, they go down and bring in Ivan Toney, and Ivan Toney smashes the championship goal scoring record and comes up to the Premier League and starts scoring goals as well. So fair play to him. I mean, very confident man, which I like. I like anybody that believes in their own ability. Yesterday, Klopp removed Taki and Elliott's position in midfield. Might he use him there? Might he use him there? Again, I'm genuinely thinking this through, mate. Sorry, I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just trying to think through. I don't think so personally. It's a tough one though. Like where is Taki's best position? Is it in that kind of floating role, maybe on the right hand side of midfield where Elliott was, as you spoke about, or is it in a more advanced position? Because he doesn't seem like an out and out striker, does he? He does kind of seem like a player who will be, you know, the second man behind the striker, whether that's as a floating 10 or on the right of the midfield where Elliott played. It's a good question. But a lot of versatility again, which I wonder if this goes against some players at times, the amount of versatility that our players have, you know, that they can play in 3 or 4 positions. You say he's a winger. He's whatever the fuck the manager asks him to be, with all due respect. So he can play in the right, he can play in the left, he can play through the centre, he can play in the hole. He is whatever Jurgen Klopp asks him to be. So again, I wouldn't pigeonhole him in saying he's a winger. He's a forward. He's an attacking player. He's a forward-thinking player. But yeah, it is what it is. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. But look, I'm going to quickly round up what we spoke about before I head off over to Craig Station to get set up for that game, the West Ham Manchester United game, followed by the League Cup draw as well. There is a link to Craig Station below. If you haven't already subscribed, you can click on that and come across. So yeah, we spoke about Liverpool's interest in Jude Bellingham. Christian Falk, of Build have said Liverpool are certainly interested in Jude Bellingham, but Jurgen Klopp is hesitant to go back to his old club. We also spoke about Liverpool's interested in Vieira of Porto, their midfielder who was player of the tournament at the Under-21 Euros. A report from Portugal suggests Liverpool are interested in the January move for him. We talked about the main stand, the Anfield Road end, and the fact that they're going to have a groundbreaking ceremony for that next week, and that they're hoping to have it fully done by the 2023-24 season. The renders of it look really good as well. So that's what we talked about tonight. Jack Gill will be back tomorrow with a late night agenda. I will be recording the preview for the Brentford game. That's going to come out on Friday. I won't be around Friday, Saturday, Sunday because we'll be over in Liverpool, but Jack Gill will be here to take you through all the games and let me get a bit of a breather with Connor over at the AJ fight. So look, I'm going to head over to Craig Station now. I hope to see you over there for the game, and please do drop a like on the video, hit the subscribe button as well, and I'll chat to you guys soon. Take care, lots of love, bye bye.